And the people you fired, those 12 people, they were experts on Iran, were they not?
I don't believe so.
They worked in counterintelligence, did they not?
I'm taking you at your word, sir. I'm not familiar with every
You're the
single
chief
word.
director. I'm not. You should know the answer. You fired the people. Where did they work?
People were terminated for violating their ethical obligations and the high standards that
Was the
we
ethical
have.
violations that they dealt with the case of the classified documents that were found at the bathroom in Mar-a-Lago, was that the ethical issue?
As I said earlier, all those matters are pending litigation, so I'm not going to comment on them.
So Kash Patel fired at least a dozen FBI agents from the counterintelligence unit that specializes in Iran. He did it while the United States was preparing to launch a military strike against Iran. And when Steve Cohen asked him whether those agents were Iran experts, Patel said he didn't believe so. He is the director of the FBI. He fired them, and he doesn't know who they were. I'll give you my take at the end. Let's watch this.
Director Patel, you had a question from Dr. Jackson about the shutdown we're in now with Homeland Security, and I believe you said that this would be harmful to America because of the threat from Iran. Is that correct? Do I recall that correctly?
Generally, yes, sir.
How many days before we invaded Iran did you know we were going to launch an invasion?
We can get into those details in a classified setting, but I work with my colleagues across the spectrum here to give me advance warning so that we can reinforce.
Was it 2 days, 3 days, a month?
It was sometime before that, sir.
Sometime before that. So you had not. With that knowledge, why did you fire at least a dozen agents in Counterintelligence Unit 12 that specializes in Iran counterintelligence, which makes us much less secure and safe with this war going on from Iranian attacks potentially against our country?
As I said earlier, Congressman, I don't work on timelines when these terminations occur. There are internal investigations conducted by the careers at the FBI that highlight unethical or inappropriate conduct, and it's up to me to make the decision. But our Iran Threats Mission Center has never been more resourced, as I've highlighted, a 43% increase in counter-espionage arrests from Iran alone, and 360 ongoing terrorism investigations with Iran-affiliated individuals.
And the people you fired, those 12 people, they were experts on Iran, were they not?
I don't believe so.
They worked in counterintelligence, did they not?
I'm taking you at your word, sir. I'm not familiar with every
You're the
single
chief
word.
director. I'm not. You should know the answer. You fired the people. Where did they work?
People were terminated for violating their ethical obligations and the high standards
Was
that we
the ethical
have.
violations that they dealt with the case of the classified documents that were found at the bathroom in Mar-a-Lago, was that the ethical issue?
As I said earlier, all those matters are pending litigation, so I'm not going to comment on them.
Director Gabbard, are you familiar with CI-12?
I'm not, Congressman.
Okay. Let me ask you this question. In the intelligence community's unclassified annual threat assessment from last year, it said, quote, Iran's large conventional forces are capable of inflicting substantial damage to an attacker, executing regional strikes, and disrupting shipping, particularly energy supplies through the Strait of Hormuz. It seems the IC was entirely correct in its assessment about Iranian retaliation in the Strait. Did the IC's assessment about the Iranian capabilities in the Straits of Hormuz change in the past year?
No, Congressman.
Does Iran still have the capability to threaten shipping in the Straits of Hormuz with missiles, mines, and small boats?
Their capabilities have been largely degraded, but yes, they still have means to threaten passage through the Strait of Hormuz.
And how long can they keep the strait closed?
Based on current events, I'd have to get an updated assessment from the intelligence community on that.
Did you have an analysis of the impact of a war on global supply chains and the price of oil and gas?
I believe that assessment may have come from the Department of Treasury or Energy.
It didn't come through your office.
It came from their element within Department of Energy or Energy.
Do you know if the president was briefed on those assessments?
I believe so, but I can't confirm.
So if he was briefed on those assessments that was a problem and the Straits of Hormuz could be shut off and that's causing a great problem in the world's economy with oil prices going up to, I think, under $120 or something a barrel and an effect on all countries' economies, why would the president not have taken actions to strengthen defense around the Strait of Hormuz?
All I can say is that the president ultimately is responsible for making the decisions based on the totality of information and intelligence that he has available to him.
The intelligence that he has available to him, that's a scary thought. Does the IC know where Iran's enriched uranium is?
The IC has high confidence that we know where it is.
And can you tell us that in classified?
We can speak more about this topic in the classified setting.
Okay. Could it be, we have methods of destroying it?
This is a conversation for a closed setting, sir.
Do you have any idea what the purpose of the Marines being sent, the units that are being sent over there, is the idea that we will put troops with boots on the ground in Iran?
ODNI and the IC is not involved in the operational planning and movements of the Department of War assets.
Thank you. I'll be very honest with you. When you made your original comments, it was kind of scary because of all the craziness that goes on in the world. I can't wait for the classified setting. Thank you.
Now, watch what has been reported about what Patel's firing spree actually did to the FBI's Iran capabilities at the exact moment they were needed most.
About 12 hours after President Donald Trump started this new war with Iran, his FBI director, Kash Patel, took to social media to reassure the American public about safety here at home. He said, quote, "Last night I instructed our counterterrorism and intelligence teams to be on high alert and mobilize all assisting security assets needed. While the military handles force protection overseas, the FBI remains at the forefront of deterring attacks here at home." At the forefront, he says, at the forefront. That is the idea. That said, new reporting from MS Now's Carol Leonnig tonight says this, quote, "When FBI Director Kash Patel fired a dozen FBI agents and staff last week, he targeted an elite counter-espionage unit that investigates threats from foreign adversaries and specializes in Iran." According to more than a half dozen sources with knowledge of the firings, the unit that Patel gutted, known as CI-12, conducts investigations of illegal media leaks and mishandling of classified documents, and also has veteran agents trained on threats and spy operations with a special focus on the Middle East, including Iran and its proxies. Some of this was first reported by the New York Sun. I will tell you that Carol Leonnig is also reporting tonight that at the FBI today and tonight, people there are bracing for potentially more firings in this unit. The FBI is denying that it has done anything to hamper the agency's counterintelligence capabilities. But as I said, Carol Leonnig reporting tonight that people inside the FBI are, quote, bracing for the possibility that Patel will fire more agents and staff, specifically on CI-12. Joining us now is Carol Leonnig, MS Now senior investigative correspondent. Carol, I really appreciate you making time to be here. I know it's a really busy time for you.
Thanks for focusing on this. It's really important.
What does CI-12 do?
CI-12 is casually known, that's its kind of code name, but it's casually known as a global espionage squad of the FBI. It's got a combination of agents, analysts, and also support staff based out of the Washington field office. It's been involved in a really interesting panorama of cases, Rachel, some of which you've covered extensively here. It worked on the case involving classified documents involving Donald Trump, hoarding and concealing hundreds and hundreds of top secret records at his home in Mar-a-Lago. It also investigated leak investigations. It investigated John Bolton even, and classified records that were found at his home, or classified information, that was found at his home. And it also, with the exception of Russia and China, looks at espionage and other threat information from foreign adversaries in other countries. This is important when it comes to their specialty in the Middle East because they've been involved in essentially catching people on U.S. soil who are operatives of foreign governments, and that includes Iran.
Iran has a long and terrible history of assassinating people in other countries. not just in the Middle East, but throughout Europe, even making attempts here in the United States. I mean, going back decades, you look at in the 80s and 90s, what they call the chain murders, where there were literally dozens of Iranian dissidents and opposition figures who were killed mysteriously all over the world. It turned out to be an Iranian intelligence and security services plot that did that. It does seem like this is, for everything else that Iran is and isn't, it does seem like they've invested a lot in their ability to kind of reach around the world.
I really appreciate you for watching, and make sure to check out this